What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. I figured since Lori Vallow Daybell has been very much in the public eye yet again in another trial. You heard me right. Now, this woman is already convicted and received a life sentence, but clearly she really has nothing better to do. So why not be pro se in another trial of you murdering your husband? Not Chad Daybell, her ex-husband, Charles Vallow. So it's kind of hard to cover just Lori Vallow without Chad Daybell because it's just a package deal. So I figured we'll just do the Doomsday. We're just going to do the Doomsday. I have spent well over a week engulfed in a lot of research of this woman, of this couple, and this happened a good amount of time. This happened a while ago, and I can remember hearing about it. I could remember seeing it on magazines, being in the news, but it just seemed so, I don't know what it was. I think maybe it was because there just seemed to be so many different components to it. It wasn't just like one child that was killed. It seems like whoever is around these two people die. So without further ado, let's get into the Doomsday Murders, Lori Vallow Daybell and Chad Daybell.
I'm Nate Eaton with EastIdahoNews.com in Kauai, where Chad and Lori Daybell were served with 2 search warrants just hours ago. Law enforcement officers from eastern Idaho, along with federal agents and the Kauai Police Department, pulled Lori and Chad over. They were driving a black SUV. They pulled into this resort where I am standing. They put Chad into one vehicle, Lori into another. That's when their vehicle was seized and they had no way to get home. We had a chance to ask them so many questions that need answers. Lori, Nate Eaton with East Idaho News. Can you tell me where your kids are? Where are your kids?
No comment.
No comment? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say? You're over here in Hawaii? Where are your children? Yeah, why don't you just give us a comment? Just tell us where they are. Chad, where are Lori's kids? What happened to Tammy, Chad? Can you tell us what happened to Tammy? Why have you guys been in Hawaii for so long? Listen, just tell people what's happening. There's people around the country praying for your children, praying for you guys. Why don't you give us answers?
That's great.
That's great. That's great that they're praying for you, praying for your kids. What? You have nothing to say? Did you do something to your children? Are your children still alive? That's a simple question. I've got 3 kids of my own. I can tell you every minute where my kids are at. Where are your children? What do you guys plan to do now? You have 5 days to get your children in front of a judge in Rexburg, then what? Are you guys innocent of any crimes? Have you committed any crimes? Chad, you guys have a lot to say on your podcast. You don't have anything to say now? Lori? Do you believe that you were instructed by God or others to do something for your children? If you could give a message to them, what would you say? Listen, if you just talk to us, we'll leave you alone.
The family's worried. Tammy's family's very worried.
Tammy's family's very worried. Lori, your mother, Kay, came out. Kay and Larry, they're offering a $20,000 reward for your children. And you're over here on the beach? This is your chance to tell your story. Nothing you want to say? One last chance right here? Anything you want to say to the people in Idaho? Lori, you have a lot of cash there in your baggie. Were you guys planning to leave Hawaii? Were you planning to take off? And with that, Chad and Lori darted into this resort, and they still have not come out. Now, police have not said what they are searching for in that SUV or in their home, but one thing that was not found is Lori's children. JJ and Tylee are still missing. Tomorrow, we will have much more from Hawaii. For now, I'm Nate Eaton reporting for EastIdahoNews.com.
Today, people know Lori Vallow Daybell as the so-called Doomsday Mom, stemming from the coverage of her children's disappearance and deaths. She's been called a monster and a cult mom. Lori, alongside with her husband Chad Daybell, which I'm going to change the photo here because this photo here is actually Charles Vallow, which is, she was just found guilty yesterday for conspiracy of murdering him. And we'll get to that later, but I kind of wanted to go a little bit in chronological order. My notes are a little all over the place, but we'll kind of piece everything back together. This photo is of Charles and Lori. Lori alongside with her husband Chad Daybell. So let's go ahead and switch that photo so we're not confused. Lori, alongside with her husband, Chad Daybell, were sentenced to life without the possibility of parole after an Idaho jury found her guilty in May of 2023 on all charges for her role in the deaths of her 16-year-old daughter, Tylee Ryan, and 7-year-old adopted son, Joshua, also known as JJ Vallow, and her husband's first wife, Tammy Daybell. She pled not guilty. Let me go ahead. On the right side is Tylee Ryan, who was 16 years old when her mother and stepfather, Chad Daybell, killed her. There was no, Tylee's body was so badly dismembered and burned that they could not rule, medical examiners, there was nothing that could rule what her cause of death was. And with JJ, I have to look back deeper into my notes. I believe it was asphyxiation, just like with Tammy Daybell, Chad Daybell's late wife, in which he killed as well. So in May of 2024, Chad Daybell was convicted on all counts. Now, if you remember last year, around this time, huge trial. I actually never watched that trial. This case, just in general, was so, I just felt overwhelmed with it because of the aspects where there was just so many pieces to this giant puzzle. And I'm just like, okay, wait, who killed who? Wait, this person died too. Wait. And there was 2 kids that went missing. And what? And then she's still standing trial. Yesterday, she just got a guilty verdict again. And then she has, I believe, another trial. The woman just wants some time out of her jail cell. I will say this, though. She had her hair curled. And she's in custody, obviously. She had her hair curled. And I'm thinking to myself, I have no excuse to never have my hair done. Lori Vallow is in jail and she's got like fresh beach waver curls. Anyways, let's move on. So let's travel back in time to learn more about Lori Vallow prior to meeting this frickin' numbnuts on the right here, who is Chad Daybell. In 2006, Lori married Charles Vallow, who was a businessman, and friends say it appeared to be a happy marriage. Together, the couple were raising Tylee Ryan, Lori's daughter from a previous marriage. And in 2014, JJ joins the family. Lori and Charles Vallow adopted JJ Vallow. He was the grandson of Charles' sister. JJ had autism, and it was reported that Lori was an ideal and patient mother for him. It's now 2017, and the family dynamics have changed. Sometime around 2017, relatives say Lori Vallow's relationship with her children changed. Her friends say that she had been reading the books of Doomsday author Chad Daybell. Daybell, who wrote several fiction books about preparing for the end of the world, lived alongside Rexburg, Idaho. And this is when Chad Daybell enters the picture and everything takes a turn. In 2018, at some point, Lori met Chad Daybell. Now remember, she had been reading books about, so he's an author and Doomsday author, and she was reading his books. Lori Vallow's friend says that there was a connection between the two, and they began doing religious podcasts together. Daybell was also married together with his wife Tammy Daybell, and he was raising 5 children. And at the end of this, we are going to talk about those 5 children and their stance on what they believe occurred in this case. Lori Vallow's friend Melanie Gibb would later say she heard Chad Daybell and Lori talking about zombies, people whose souls were replaced by dark spirits. Lori's former friend April Raymond told 48 Hours that Lori stated, referring to her husband Charles Vallow as a demon. In 2019, Charles Vallow was seeking help. I'm going to go ahead and play the clip of the body-worn camera footage of Charles Vallow calling police. Police arrive, and you guys can see what happens.
So is she in there?
What's going on? Why is she here and you're not here, or are you staying here with her?
Long story. She's had kind of a break from reality. She thinks you're LDS?
Yes.
She thinks she's married to Moroni in the past. This is her
You think she's what?
We're married to Moroni at the top of the temple.
Angel
Moroni.
LDS. Angel.
They don't let
She's
me in there.
probation, and she knows when the second coming is happening next year, so does the prophet.
Okay.
He knows it, she knows about it. She meets with Moroni and Jesus Christ face to face in the temple every day. I've tried to support her as much as I could, but it's gotten really, really bad lately. She's had a break. She says, I'm Nick Snyder. I've taken over Charles's body, and Charles has been killed. I'm going to kill you. You're going to be murdered today or tomorrow. I can do it. I'm out there with my priesthood, with my power. She does priesthood blessings. She does.
So who's
so
Nick
incredible.
Snyder? Okay.
That's who I'm supposed to do.
Okay. Right. Okay. So he's not at church. He's not.
She took my truck from the airport. So in fact, she took my truck from the airport last night when I flew in. She canceled my flights. I had to buy another ticket to come back home. I've got a 6-year-old with special needs.
Right. And he's safe at school somewhere.
Right.
Okay.
For now. If she knows I'm here, she's going to go get it.
Okay. What car? What is she driving?
A black Infiniti QX80.
And you've looked all through the parking lots.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Do you have the license plate on that?
It's KDM 62 or 63 or 67. It's handicapped. Okay?
There it is.
And I don't know where she put my truck. She took $35,000 in cash out of our account yesterday. I sent me payroll. I mean, I just never thought she would do anything like this, but she's just lost touch with me. I'm not me. She yells. She's unhinged. It's scared the crap out of me.
Okay. Now, I'm assuming you guys have phones. Is that an iPhone?
Yes.
Are you able to track to see where her phone is right now?
Her
I
phone's
hear
right here with
iPhones.
me. Her phone's with me.
Oh, your phone. Now, how did you get her phone?
Because it was in the car this morning when she pulled up to school. I took the keys out of her purse out so she couldn't leave. That's when I called you guys.
Okay.
Somehow she has a pair of keys and left with my dog. And so I don't know where I saw this in her purse. Don't think she's here. They were going to give me a key to the room. I was going to go, if you guys will come with me, see if she's in the room.
We can't just go in. If you're not allowed to go in, we can't either. We can
It's on my
just.
credit card. She did the
Okay, that's going to be up to them if they allow you to go in. Now, we can't. Now, you guys are
Can you guys
married,
wait
so
here?
there shouldn't be. No, we're waiting for right now. What we're doing is my sergeant wanted to get some information from you. I was about to call you, but then Gary said you were here. We are just going to wait a second. My sergeant, they're on their way because we have a sergeant training. So they're going to be here. They have the paperwork. So if she is here, we knock on the door, she's here. That's why we need the paperwork in hand. Okay, so we can take her. So
Tell me
that's
again
why-
real quick.
That's why
What-
we're here. right
What's
now.
her first name?
Lori.
Lori.
Hello.
And tell me again about the vehicle. It's a black Infinity
Infinity QX80.
QX80.
2016. Yes, sir.
And try that
I'm gonna
license
go
plate
ahead and
again.
give them a call.
KDM
KDM
62. It's KDM something.
KDM 62,
Yeah,
63,
something like this.
67.
Handicap plate.
Handicap.
Yes.
Is it registered to you?
Yes.
Spell your last name again.
V is
V.
in Victor, ALLOW.
Vallo?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. That's an SUV that you're describing, right? Okay, I know what it is.
I'm going to go check and see if I can go in there, and I'll be right back. Okay, sir?
Okay. Also find out if they'll give you permission to go into that room.
Well, I guess she had a separate set of car keys and she was able to leave the school. That's why Team 1 wasn't able to get a hold of her. So we're not sure if she's here or not. He's thinking that he would be able to get in the room. And I said, that's up to you and that's up to the hotel. That's not what we do. So I told him that we're waiting for you with the paperwork, and that's what we've got going on right now. He thinks she's still staying here just for the reason is that he was able to grab that key out of her purse in the car at that school in Central area, wherever that school was. All right. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you just what she's saying and the reason the 909 came out. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. We're gonna, you know, how about we all meet back at the car? We are on the north side of that home 2, which is just west of this building. It's the building west. It's the other hotel. We'll all meet right there. All right, we'll see you in a minute. Bye. Okay, so if his truck is gone, how did he get here?
I have no idea. He didn't tell me that. By the way, I have a that tour at 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll go. He wants a sidebar before we do it. Where did he go?
He went back in to find out whether or not they'll give him permission to enter into that room.
No, I don't want him going to that.
He's
He
not
told
going to
him
the
not
room.
go to
He's
the room.
just.
Okay.
He's
Let's
just.
go back over to our cars. They'll be here in just a minute or two, and he wants we need to do a powwow.
Okay.
So.
Let me just, I'll meet you over there. I'm just going to tell him, because he's gone to the lobby. I just want him to know he needs to wait around here
Now,
so we can find
the
him.
biggest thing, okay, so she wants to marry Moroni, which is great, fantastic, fine and dandy. That's not as bad as the
Are you
UFO
on?
thing. Yeah, I'm going to go off.
Me too.
But here is another body cam of Charles Vallow concerned about his wife, Lori Vallow, talking about he's a demon and everything else. Let's get into it.
So what's going on tonight?
I can't get in touch with my kids.
How old are your kids?
6.5 and 16. Okay.
How long have you been trying?
2 days.
Okay.
But she's lost her mind. I don't know how else to say it. We're LDS. She thinks she's a resurrected being and a God, and remember the 144,000. Jesus is coming next year, She took all the money out of her bank account today. My truck is gone from the airport. She went to the airport and got it. I just flew in from Houston, from Dallas. Houston and Dallas. So,
where's your truck?
I don't know.
Okay.
A good friend of mine's truck had picked me up. I went to the CSI to file a report, which is the community bridges or something. File a report.
So you did the petition?
Yeah, they ordered a pickup.
Okay. What time did you do that?
Hour and a half ago.
Okay. So what makes her a danger to herself and to others?
She threatened me, murder me, kill me.
She threatened to murder you?
Yes. And she said,
how did she do that?
My bishop right there is in the car. He was on the phone with me today when she said, I will have you destroyed, is what she said there.
Okay, that's not a threat to kill you.
Yesterday was a threat to kill me. Today,
Okay.
of course,
What did she say yesterday?
She said, you're not Charles. I don't know who you are, what you did with Charles, but I can murder you now with my powers.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Says I'm gonna kill you too. Yesterday was I'm
So
gonna
she's
kill
speaking as a spiritual being.
you. She's not here. She's lost her reality.
Is this just all recent, or has it been going on?
It's been going on for about 4 or 5 years. It's gotten really, really bad lately. She goes to the temple every day and speaks with Moroni and Jesus Christ. And they tell her what to do. And now she came to her today, and last couple of days she says, I'm not Charles. You're not Charles. You're Nick Schneider. I don't know where she gets his names from. She got all this stuff from these people in Utah who tell her how many past lives she's had and probation she's had. And she's was married to Moroni way back when. And
So when you came back, why didn't you just go to the home?
because she told me not to come near it. All my stuff is gone.
Okay.
I'm not stupid. She could have done anything.
Okay.
I thought this would be the best way to do it. With what she's gone through and what Gabe witnessed with me on the phone today, I thought it was best to have her. She's psychologically, she's gone. Something's happened to her.
How old is she?
45.
45.
Beautiful woman,
So if we talk to her, is she going to be able to have a rational conversation with us?
Oh, she will. I'm sure she will.
Okay.
Yeah, she's just.
She'll probably tell me I'm crazy, huh? Is that what you suspect?
Probably. But
Okay.
you're a dark spirit. That's what she's going to tell you.
Okay.
Okay, I'm a dark spirit. Gabe's with me. He's our bishop. He's going to be a dark spirit. Whatever that means. Okay, you're evil.
And you said this has been going on for like 4 years?
Well, it's to an extent, but it's gotten really bad the last several months. And I've been trying to ignore it because hoping it'll get better.
Is she on any medications?
No.
No?
She won't do medications.
Has she been to a doctor?
No, she won't go to the doctor because she's a translated being, and they would find out that she's translated. She cannot be killed. She cannot die.
And that's what she thinks?
Yes.
Okay. Has she made any statements about wanting to hurt the children or anything?
Today she said with Gabe on the phone, come take the kids. I don't care what happens to them. Come take them.
Okay, but she didn't make a direct threat towards the kids?
No, not a direct threat.
Okay. And then she said that she would murder you through a spiritual...
No, she said, I can murder you.
I can murder you. And she's talking in a spirit...
I will kill you.
Spiritual...
No, she's talking physically. I will kill you because you're not Charles, and nobody will care.
Okay. So she at this point doesn't think you are her husband?
She thinks I'm Nick Schneider.
Who's Mick Schneider?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It's the name she used. I don't know where it came from.
Okay.
I'm just like, I'm as bewildered as you are. This is so foreign to me. Normal people as far as I'm concerned, but this happens, it just drives me, I don't know what to do. I need help, and she needs help. She needs help.
And you just didn't want to go inside because of the statements that she made?
She took my car and I suspect she took my car and my keys. I have no keys to get in.
Oh, okay.
No garage door opener.
Okay.
She knows what she's doing. She took $35,000 out of our bank account today. I can't make payroll Friday for my company. She changed our bank account numbers. I had to change it myself to get back in, and I saw all the money's gone. I've got $7 in my name.
So, what's your first name again?
Charles.
Charles lives here with his wife and 2 children. Charles was away on business.
Third nephew upstairs. His name is Zach. He's 19. He's our nephew. He's been staying with us.
Have you tried to call him?
Yeah, he won't call me back either.
Why won't he call you back?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's what I'm worried about. I hope they're okay, but I don't know.
It's valid.
All right. So, his question is, he lives here, there's no orders against either one of them. If we can't make contact.
But if he wants to let us in, now we're doing a 670 check.
I don't know how to get in. I could have to break a window. I can try to.
Where I was going with this, he was in Houston on a business trip, and then he flies back in to Sky Harbor, and his truck's gone. He suspects that she went there and took the truck. He doesn't know.
Used my wallet in it, so.
Right. So, all right. Is it this house or the one with the flashing lights?
Right there.
On the side of the road.
Oh, where those palm trees are?
Yeah.
You don't have a hidden key?
No, it's in the house.
So it's not hidden?
JJ can open it, but we have to keep those locks really quick.
Understand.
He's a runner.
So the dog's gone too?
Obviously, he'd be barking. He doesn't bark much. He's a service dog. He's very well trained, but he would be barking. They wouldn't leave him here. He's a part of the family. So I'm going to go try the back door. I may break the window. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's up to you if you want to break the window. If I was going to break something, I'd probably break your garage door, because you could still secure your garage. Once your window's broken, you can't secure it.
It's there. So there's just a big deadbolt here.
All right. Well,
Kick it in.
One swift kick will do it.
I'd do a mule kick. We'll try that first. You gotta get closer.
I'm going to try it. You're welcome to.
You want us to enter the home, right?
You want us to clear it, sir?
Yes, please.
Door, police. Somebody in the house?
Take my computer.
Oh.
It's all clear.
She said, take the kids, I don't care.
I don't care what happens to them. Take the kids. I don't care what happens to them.
Well, that's not a direct threat to harm.
I know.
Everything she said it sounded very carefully subjective.
But
Nothing
she
could be
won't
interpreted
contact
as
me, won't tell me where they are. Is there something I can do about that? Because she's got a Infinity.
Did she say she was leaving or anything like that, or she says anything like that?
Actually, she told you not to come back, is what she said.
Well, as a parent, she has the right to take her children, whether, who knows where she's at. We don't know where she's at. She has the right to take the children. You weren't home at the time, so she's in her legal right to do so. Mm-hmm. Okay. As of right now, the statements that are listed in here are provided by you, which, to my understanding, you kind of overheard some of them. Okay. Did you hear her make statements of wanting to harm or kill herself? Did you hear any statements of her wanting to harm or kill Charles?
No, other than she used the word destroy, which again, subjective. She could have meant a number of things, obviously.
Okay.
There was definitely nothing that would qualify as a terroristic threat or.
So she didn't say, I'm going to kill you or anything like that? No. She didn't say she was going to kill herself or anything like that?
No.
Just some... Okay.
Just the irrational statements about calling him a different name and saying he was a different person. There was a level of disconnect from reality that was a bit disturbing. But that was, again, that's just my impression. That I don't have anything substantial to back that up with just a quick conversation.
And when did you try to call the nephew?
10 times today.
Excuse me?
Twice last night, 10 times today.
Okay.
He won't answer. No text. Look, here's his text. Last time he answered me was Tuesday.
But you were home Tuesday, right? Or you left Tuesday morning?
I left.
You left Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning. It was last Tuesday. Okay. Mm-hmm. Then yesterday, no word from him. No word from Tylee, my daughter.
Does your daughter live here too?
Yeah.
From what I'm gathering, correct me if I'm wrong, this is where I would go. First of all, we don't know if she took your truck. So you parked it at Sky Harbor on Tuesday morning. I would contact Phoenix Police, make a stolen vehicle report with them.
She took all my clothes out of my closet too, so this is what I got.
Start with Phoenix PD.
Okay.
Reporting your truck stolen.
Okay.
Okay. As for tonight, we don't have a crime. We tried to serve this during the course of doing a welfare check.
Okay.
Okay. All the doors were locked.
This can't be served again.
Hold on, time out, let me finish. You gave him permission to force entry into your home. What I can do is I can do a special incident report documenting some of this information.
Okay.
As of right now, there is no crime. Okay. We attempted to conduct a welfare check here by speaking with your wife
That
and
was a
also to serve
pickup.
this.
Pickup order, right?
2 separate calls. We classify it 2 separate calls. Okay. Normally, we don't do this after 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a civil order, and we're not even allowed to serve a search warrant without a judge's specific order at nighttime. There has to be specific cause that says that this needs to be served at night for some reason. So those don't get served at night normally.
This falls into that criteria, same criteria. The only reason why we're here is some of the statements that you made towards our dispatchers that you provided to them, that he made the decision to come here to conduct a welfare check to make sure that your children are safe. Okay. Upon us being here, you gave us permission to force entry into your home. That's got to be documented regardless. Okay. That covers our end. So what I can do is I can type out that special incident report. You'll have a report with Phoenix Police. Technically, I mean, at this point, you know, you can do a missing persons report, but
She's taking my son out of school.
But we don't know that.
Well, even if she did, she has that legal right. She's the parent. She can do that. So we don't.
Permission? I mean,
She's the legal guardian of the child.
What can I do, guys? What can I do?
Like you said, you can file the police report with Phoenix. One way to try and get a response from one of them is say, hey, send a message to all of them saying, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. My truck was gone from the airport. I've reported it stolen to Phoenix Police Department. If you guys took it, you need to let me know. So, because what's going to end up happening is...
GPS, can I track it with that?
If you got OnStar or whatever, you can call them and find out. Yeah, whatever their version of that is, and you can find out where it's at, then that's completely up to you. But again, it's the only thing we're going to do, even if your reporter is missing, is if we find her, it's going to be, hey, are you missing? And she's going to say, nope.
What about the pickup order for tonight?
The pickup order is listed in our system. Okay. If we come across her, we can serve that to her and take her to Community Bridges. Okay. If she's found in Orange County, California, they're not going to take her to Community Bridges.
Okay.
Okay.
If they find her in Flagstaff, they're not going to do anything with it. They're going to bring her down there.
I know that.
They're just, that's an order that's basically going to be held up around here in this area. They're not going to bring her down from anywhere else. So if they're somewhere else and they're long gone, there's, you know.
We understand you're in a tough situation and it's kind of alarming to you. We get that part. But what we're providing is what we can do on our end.
I'll report my car stolen from the airport and a missing persons report and check with the school and tell them.
When you make that report, don't tell the officer who you're reporting, my wife took it, because we don't know that.
Okay.
Make sure that you explain to him that you suspect she did,
Sure.
and she's in the company with such and such, such and such. Make them know that you have a handicapped young child, because if it comes out stolen, you know, and she's just driving along, we don't want them to pursue the vehicle we don't want to put your children in danger.
So she won't be in my truck.
But what I'm saying is just kind of, let them know some of the information of what's going on. But we don't know if she took it. We don't know if it was actually
She doesn't show up,
stolen.
just disappears. There's nothing I can do after a period of time when I can't see my son.
You'd have to go down to the court and file paperwork
I'm
for
going tomorrow to file paperwork for my son.
whether it's divorce paperwork or custody or whatever.
Copy this, so I can give it to the attorney so we can file it for.
We can't give you a copy of that, no.
Okay.
You should be, if you contact community, you filled it out with Community Bridges, you can ask them what paperwork they can give you, but we can't release
So
that
you can
paperwork.
pick her up
If we find her,
if I say she's here, come get her. You can do that.
it depends on when you do it. If you find her at 4 o'clock in the morning,
No, 8 to 10.
Yeah.
A.m. 10.
if you find her in the morning and it's outside those nighttime exception hours, which is 10 o'clock at night till 6:30 in the morning, And somebody who finds her, they can take her. Like this case, when we came here to do the welfare check on the children, if we happen to come across her, we can serve it on her.
Okay, so I just played the footage of the 2 body cam videos of Charles Vallow expressing major concern about his wife. So 2019, that's when this began. Charles Vallow was seeking help. Charles Vallow became very worried about Lori, and he went to the police with his concerns. He told them Lori believed she was a god preparing for the end of days, which I'm sure you heard that in the body-worn camera. He also said Lori had threatened to murder him. February 2019, Charles Vallow filed for divorce from Lori in court documents. Charles expressed that he feared for his and his children's safety. In July of 2019, a death investigation. Charles Vallow went to the house where Lori Vallow was living with the children in Chandler, Arizona. And I believe that he was renting this home, this separate home for Lori in Chandler, Arizona. Charles was supposed to drop their son, JJ, off at school. But when he went inside the home, Charles was shot dead by Lori's brother, Alex Cox. I will add that body cam in the description box just because I've already put in at least, I think now close to 33 minutes of body cam. And there is so much more to that. Charles was actually speaking with Lori's brother and it gets so confusing. And I think that's why I put this case off for so long, because there's so much. Charles was speaking with Lori's other brother, not the brother that shot him, not Alex Cox. I believe his name was Adam Cox. And they were basically planning on doing an intervention on Lori. And during this time, Lori and her other brother, Alex Cox, were planning the murder of Charles Vallow. And they got away with it. Well, they didn't get away with it. We'll get to that, though. Cox told police that Lori and Charles got into a fight. Alex claimed that he was protecting his sister and shot Charles in self-defense. Lori and Tylee, who both say they heard the shooting, told similar stories of self-defense. And I will also put those videos of the interrogations of both Tylee and Lori in the description box and label it nice and organized for you guys. So in September of 2019, Lori Vallow moved closer to Chad Daybell. Now, before I even get into that, so Charles is now dead. The footage where basically Charles goes in, we know he's killed, and once he's killed, apparently Lori just walks past his body. The kids are in the car. Well, JJ's in the car in the driveway, and she takes her and Tylee and JJ go to Burger King, and then she drops JJ off at school and pulls up and just acts like the cops are like, "Hey, we're sorry to let you know your husband was killed in there," and she's just like, "Oh wow, the neighbors are really gonna think I'm crazy now," or some kind of. This woman is a freaking clown. And it actually amazes me. I tried to watch her interrogation video after Charles was killed, but it was, oh my God, it was just so all over the place. And Alex Cox, her brother, who actually, they say that he was the one who actually shot Charles, died from, I think it was like a brain aneurysm or something. We'll get to that. So there was no justice for that. Well, until yesterday. She was found guilty yesterday, which was the 22nd, I believe. for conspiracy to commit murder. So they just tacked that on there. In September of 2019, Lori Vallow moved closer to Chad Daybell. So now we have her ex-husband's out of the way. And the main reason, apparently in the LDS community, Church of Latter-day Saints, divorce, you cannot get divorced. I'm not going to speak too much on that because I'm not educated enough to speak on that. But what I have heard is that that you cannot get divorced. Basically, the only way you can move on to another relationship is if your significant other dies. So now Charles is dead, and Miss Lori is like, okay, now I need to collect his life insurance money. Well, that doesn't go so well for her. So, Lori moves closer to Chad Daybell. She relocated her kids to Rexburg, Idaho. Lori's brother, Alex Cox, now he hasn't died yet, moved into the same apartment complex. September 8th, 2019. Tylee Ryan vanishes. Lori Vallow, Tylee, JJ, and Alex Cox went to Yellowstone National Park. Police say this is where the last known photo of Tylee was taken before she vanished. Melanie Gibb has said that Lori had referred to Tylee as a zombie. And remember, this is a reoccurring thing with Lori. The moment that anything interferes with her and Chad Daybell and their little love scheme, whatever, they're zombies. They need to be taken out. We got a Slurpee tonight, guys. Apparently this is the Shack Slurpee. And I don't know what it is. But it good. It good, bae. September 9th, 2019. The morning after Tylee Ryan disappeared, investigators say that Alex Cox's cell phone GPS placed him in Chad Daybell's backyard on the property for about 2 hours. About 14 minutes after Cox's GPS showed him leaving the property, Chad Daybell texted his wife, Tammy Daybell. The text read, and I quote, "I spotted a big raccoon along the fence. I hurried and got my gun, and he was still walking along. I got close enough that one shot did the trick. He is now in our pet cemetery." Let's see if we can go ahead and bring up a picture of Chad Daybell's land. September 22nd, 2019. JJ Vallow disappears. So Tylee disappeared on September 9th of 2019. And September 22nd of 2019, JJ Vallow disappears. Police say JJ Vallow was last seen on September 22nd of 2019. Melanie Gibb said, and remember that's one of Lori's really close LDS friend, says that she and her boyfriend David Warwick were staying with Lori Vallow in Rexburg that weekend. On the night of September 22nd, Warwick says he saw Alex Cox carrying JJ into Lori's apartment. But the next morning, according to Warwick, when he asked to see JJ, he reportedly told them that JJ was being a zombie and that Cox had to take him away. On September 23rd, the next day, the day after JJ was last seen, investigators say Alex Cox's cell phone showed that Cox returned to Chad Daybell's backyard, which is right here on the screen. This time, Cox was only there for 17 minutes. October 19th, 2019, another death. With Lori Vallow's children's whereabouts unknown, tragedy struck again. Chad Daybell's wife, Tammy Daybell, had died. The couple's son, Garth Daybell, said Tammy died in bed and him and Chad called 911. The Daybell children told 48 Hours They decline an autopsy. They say that the coroner told them Tammy's death appeared to be from natural causes. They believe that because they say that their mother was ill prior to her death. A lot of people are dying around this specific couple. Too many. Too many. November 5th, 2019. So wait a minute. Let's look at that again, because October 19th was when Tammy Daybell died. October 19th. November 5th, Chad and Lori got married. Roughly 2 weeks later, Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell got married on a beach in Hawaii. Later that month, JJ's grandmother, Kay Woodcock, asked police to check on JJ's welfare. Woodcock said she was concerned and hadn't heard from JJ in months. Rexburg police went to Lori Vallow Daybell's house looking for JJ. Police say that Vallow Daybell lied to them, claiming that JJ was safe and staying in Arizona with Lori's friend Melanie Gibb. Well, that wasn't forthcoming because Melanie Gibb told police that JJ had not been with her. While Rexburg police attempted to locate JJ, investigators soon realized that his sister Tylee Ryan was also missing and launched a nationwide search for the children. June 9th, 2020. Searching Chad Daybell's backyard. Even after Vallow Daybell's arrest, the couple refused to say where the children were. On June 9th, 2020, the FBI, Rexburg Police, and Fremont County Sheriff's Office descended upon Chad Daybell's home and property. And you may, if you are familiar with this case, you may have heard the phone call. Lori calls Chad and he answers the phone and he says something along the lines of they're searching the home and the property. He knew, and then he ran from the police, which was pretty awesome. They caught him right away. Authorities dug in areas of the backyard, which you see here, where Alex Cox's cell phone had pinged in September of 2019. Tragically, they uncovered human remains buried in shallow graves. JJ Vallow had been buried under a tree and about 50 yards away. Investigators found Tylee's grave in the Daybell's pet cemetery. Prosecutors believe she had been buried in the same location Chad Daybell referenced when he texted Tammy Daybell 9 months earlier, saying that he was burying a raccoon. Investigators dug up part of the pet cemetery and found no raccoon. But Daybell's family told 48 Hours there was a second pet cemetery on the property that was not searched. Chad Daybell was arrested. June 2020, authorities later confirmed that they identified the remains as JJ, Joshua Vallow, and Tylee Ryan. A memorial was built along the Daybell's fence to honor the victims. May 2021, Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow Daybell were charged with first-degree murder for the deaths of JJ and Tylee. Daybell was also charged with murdering his first wife, Tammy Daybell. June 2021, Chad Daybell in court. Chad Daybell pled not guilty to all charges. And in June of 2021, Lori Vallow Daybell's case got put on hold. Lori Vallow Daybell was also charged with conspiring to murder Charles Vallow, which she was found guilty of that yesterday, which I have said numerous times. That same month, a judge ruled Lori incompetent to stand trial while she receives mental health treatment. Yeah, does she need that? She had not yet entered a plea. Her case was on hold. August of 2021, awaiting trial, prosecutors announced they will seek the death penalty against Chad Daybell. Daybell has since been found guilty and is now on death row. September of 2021, speaking out, Chad and Tammy Daybell's children. Now, I was speaking about this at the beginning of the video, and when I first read about this case and I'm like, he has 5 kids. I'm like, where are these kids at? Well, they spoke out and they believe that, well, they told 48 Hours, they believe their father is innocent. And Daybell's daughter, Emma Murray, says she believes Chad was framed by Alex Cox, who is Lori's brother, and Lori Vallow Daybell. I mean, anybody but your dad, I guess, right? April 11th of 2022, Lori Vallow Daybell fit to stand trial. Judge Stephen Boyce ruled Lori Vallow Daybell is now mentally competent to stand trial in the Idaho murder case. He did not provide other details about her treatment or mental condition. She is scheduled to be formally arraigned in court next week. This is older, so you guys know that she was found guilty and all that. April 19th of 2022, judge entered a plea on Daybell's behalf because she refused to enter a plea. May 4th, they brought up that Lori Vallow could face the death penalty, and that she would qualify for that if she was convicted. But when she was convicted, they just gave her life. She did not receive the death penalty. August 16th of 2022, Lori Vallow Daybell's attorneys seek change in charges. Attorneys for Lori Vallow Daybell asked the judge to send the case back to a grand jury because they say that the conspiracy charges are oddly constructed and could confuse a jury. To me, realistically, it's like you are already found guilty of murder. What does it... I think, and somebody spoke about this yesterday, and of course it makes sense because if she were to ever be able to overturn her conviction, right, the conviction of killing her children and having something to do with Tammy Daybell's death. I think it was just her children that she was convicted of, and Chad got... It's so freaking much, you guys. I get so intertwined. If that were to ever get overturned, because I kept thinking, why is she trying to fight the conspiring against killing Charles? Like, you're already in prison, and then I was like, oh, well, if that ever got overturned, which we all know that wouldn't, but if it did, they want to make sure that she has another life sentence on top of that. We want to double seal this bitch. Daybell and her husband, Chad Daybell, have pled not guilty to murder and conspiracy and grand theft charges in connection. You know, nothing is their fault. That's just basically... I really don't know what these people thought was going to happen. September 23rd of 2022, they did ban the cameras in the courtroom. The Idaho judge said news organizations would no longer be able to shoot still photography or videos inside the courtroom. And then also January 7th, 2023, the judge said Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell are not allowed to meet face to face. I think that they were, who knows what they were trying to do the case together. They did it separately. What did you think? You guys were going to canoodle? It's not happening. It's not going to fucking happen. So April 3rd of 2023, Lori's trial began. Authorities summoned 1,800 potential jurors to the courthouse in late March, requiring each of them to complete a 20-page questionnaire in hopes of weeding out people unable to fairly try the case. On April 10th, the prosecution and defense in the trial of Lori Vallow made their opening arguments to a jury in Boise, Idaho. And on May 12th of 2023, Lori Vallow Daybell was found guilty on all charges. An Idaho jury found Lori Vallow Daybell, the mom, charged with murder in the deaths of 2 of her children, 16-year-old Tylee Ryan and 7-year-old Joshua J.J. Vallow, guilty on all charges. Vallow, 49, was also charged with conspiracy to commit murder in the deaths of the children and the death of her husband's first wife. Okay, so I was correct. Tammy Daybell. She was also accused of stealing Social Security payments issued for the children. Now, motive apparently was life insurance money, and then JJ received money. He had autism, and he was on an IEP plan. He received some sort of money, and then Tylee received money because her father died with natural causes as well. And she was receiving money from that. So Lori and Chad didn't want anyone to know that they were dead because they wanted to keep collecting their damn money. July 31st of 2023, Lori Vallow Daybell sentenced. Lori was sentenced to life without parole, the maximum penalty on the charges of murder and conspiracy to commit murder. She was also given a 10-year sentence for grand theft, as well as ordered to pay more than $50,000, including fines, a civil penalty for each of the 3 victims, and restitution. I think that just means, like, basically if she makes any money, say that she makes, I don't know. She did an interview recently with Dateline with Keith Morrison. If you haven't seen that, it's a hard watch. If she makes any money from anything, she can't have it. Goes straight to the county. So the judge, I did want to read what the judge stated at sentencing. Basically all what we all, are thinking in our head, but I'm going to quote this from the judge in the case of Lori Vallow. You had so many other options. You could have gotten divorced. You could have found someone else to take care of your kids. And as the state was able to prove at trial, you chose the most evil and destructible path possible. You justified all of this by going down a bizarre religious rabbit hole, and clearly you are still down there, he said. Wow. Sometimes I really wonder how these judges just don't jump over the bench. December 7th of 2023, Lori Vallow Daybell was arraigned in 2 separate cases. Lori was charged with conspiracy to commit murder in the 2019 death of her 4th husband, Charles Vallow, who died after police said he was shot by her brother, Alexander Lamar Cox. Cox claimed he shot Vallow in self-defense. We spoke about that earlier. Daybell and Cox, who also died in 2019, were also accused of trying to murder her niece's husband, Brandon Bardou. Now, I think I'm saying his last name wrong. That was another thing. Brandon was shot at in 2019 while driving near his home, which was also just such a strange incident. She also faces a charge of conspiracy to commit murder in the case of Brandon Bardou, but he was unhurt in the incident. The court entered pleas of not guilty for Daybell on both charges. And we're rearing the end here, guys. We are almost there. June 1st, 2024, Chad Daybell was sentenced to death. Chad Daybell was sentenced to death on June 1st, 2024. Nearly a year after his second wife, Lori Vallow Daybell, was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. On May 30th, Daybell was convicted of first-degree murder of his first wife, Tammy Daybell, and 2 of his then girlfriend, Lori Vallow's children, JJ Vallow, Tylee Ryan, as well as for conspiracy in the murders and of insurance fraud. And then, as of yesterday, April 22nd, 2025, the jury found Lori guilty on conspiracy to murder in Charles Vallow's death. She was pro se in this trial, and it was difficult. It was definitely a difficult, hard watch. She She did not get sentenced last night when the verdict was read. And I think that's because she has one more. There's an aggravating factor to it. I'm not sure. I can't recall. It was very late at night and I was finishing these notes. But there's more. There's even more. So if you didn't get to watch any of her last trial, which just ended yesterday, I recommend watching, I think it's like the third or fourth day, where, let me see if I can even find it. I'll play it for you guys. All right, I found a short.
Last time I remember our communications was you and I were speaking in the kitchen when the family was over.
Okay, so you think that was that time in 2018?
I think so.
Okay. And were we eating my green chili chicken enchiladas?
Do not remember that.
You do not remember that?
Nope.
Is that what I made every time we had a family get together, which was like 10 times a year?
I don't remember that.
Okay.
The last time I...
Here's another great. Hot Mike. Oh boy, that's actually Charles Vallow's sister. So yeah, that's Kay Woodcock. So if you haven't watched that trial, there are a few really interesting and entertaining parts to it. So that is all I have for you guys for this case, at least for now, because it just seems like with Lori Vallow, there's just always so much and it's never ending. Tragedy all over. Tragedy all over, and my condolences to the family. That I can't imagine the trauma that this has caused among those families. It's just unimaginable. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed and you like this kind of content, subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.